Holy shit. I am struggling tonight. Holy cow. Well, this is fun at least. How's it going? AJ, how you doing? I'm supposed to have a guest here if the link worked and all that stuff. I don't see where I can do it from there, so hopefully it hopefully it worked. I was, for some reason my phone wasn't allowing me to hit the next step in order to. There we go. David B,
Hey, what's going on?
the famous David B.
From what I understand, you are correct. I'm just going to be a big black glob on the side of the screen there.
Oh, I'm gonna let people look at some cars 'cause that's what I've
Yeah,
been
why
looking
not?
at all day.
Yeah, why not? Hey, Chad, how's it going?
So, hope everybody's getting to where they need to go and where they're gonna hang out and do their holiday thing and eat some good food. I know traffic has been like everywhere I was today. It was insane, and I only went to one store, and it was. I thought people were going to get in fights in the parking lot. I mean, it was serious. It was a you could feel the tension in the air there. Just I a guy actually pulled up next to me uh, and he was waiting for his wife, and him and I struck up a conversation there for a minute, and we both had the same feeling and got to sit there and watch some people struggle through the holiday shopping chaos.
Hey, we used to do it all the time when I first moved down to Florida the first time. We used to go to the outlet mall and because it was packed all the time, and we used to go there and just stay out of the heat and everything, but mainly just to go and people watch. I mean, it was insane what you could see in a day. If they'd have had YouTube going back then, holy cow, it would have been
Right?
nuts.
Talk about
I mean,
entertainment.
just constant content. I mean, just constant. Every direction you look, there was something crazy going on.
Well,
So
we
yeah,
would
that was fun.
we would often go people watch. I remember my whole life going to people watching and being entertained wherever you go just by the behavior of some humans. It's quite entertaining.
Yeah, it's quite a diverse group out there, that's for sure, especially in the holidays, because everybody's in their own big hurry to get everything done yesterday. So and they wait to the last minute.
Well, you know what I like is even though a lot of people I observe and some even come across are unpleasant and people I definitely wouldn't want to hang out with and have a further conversation. I'm happy that I still do run across good people like that guy today. That we probably talked for 20 minutes, and it's nice to see that there's still people that aren't in just such a big hurry to um, judge you by the way you look or what status they think you may or may not have by whatever you're wearing. I
Well, that's why I like living up
I'm
here. It's
on.
pretty boring. pretty
Yeah.
boring all the time. People don't care. They just do their thing. People show up at the mall in tractors, and it's just kind of weird stuff. But so we're being watched, just letting you know. Saw it in chat there. And Petty, yeah, it was in Orlando. I didn't live too far from the outlet mall there, so
Hey, sticker chick,
I'll
how you doing?
make this
Sorry,
exciting.
David.
I don't know how to make this exciting. I'm not real sure how to do that.
I know
I was
I'm
gonna,
tired. Shit,
yeah,
I don't even know why I'm here, to be honest with you, but I
because you're addicted. You're addicted. Admit it.
yeah, I figured it was a good idea, but
Well,
quite honestly,
there's been a lot of stuff going on. I mean, it's I think a lot of people just want to have a time just to be able to talk about it and not be dealing with traffic and everything else, and people can listen and interact, and I don't think you're heading anywhere else, and I'm certainly not heading anywhere else. So just be able to kind of relax and just go over some of the stuff that's been going on. Some good, some
well,
bad, some stupid.
yeah, there's a lot of stupid, and I've been really kind of I'm still around here and there, but I've been taking a little bit more time for other things in life than YouTube. I think it's good to sometimes just step back and um, you know focus on stuff that's more important in life.
Right.
Today I talked to you earlier. I told you I got to catch maybe 10 minutes of Scott, the beginning of Scott's live, and um, just a couple minutes later in the afternoon when I got turned it back on, I realized he was still live. But I actually got to have a nice conversation for several hours with a family member, and it was good just to not even think about any of this bull crap. And I think there's a lot of people out there that especially some of these haters that just consume themselves with uh, everything, every single word that's said by um, Scott or other people, and uh,
Or
you
us.
know
I mean, I'm sure there's people.
or us.
Yeah, I'm sure there's people watching us right now, probably live streaming your stream.
Oh, I'm
Restreaming your
sure.
live stream. You know,
I'm sure they are.
hey all to the haters. Join the crowd, enjoy yourself, sit back, relax, grab a cold one, learn a few things, pay attention. And if I call you asshole, yeah, I apologize already. Sorry, not sorry, but enjoy it.
There's some assholes.
Yeah, there's a few, but I think I think for those that are really paying attention to everything's going on out there, there's some good stuff going on. Scott's had some good news in the last day or two, and some good things happening, and stuff that the haters won't pay attention to, because if it's something that's positive, they don't want to hear it. They just want to hear all the bad stuff. So um, I don't know how much of that bad stuff we've got to tell tonight, but um, we'll see if they can pick any of it out. But I'm happy for Scott. I'm happy for his chat. A lot of people put a lot of hard work in, and I think some of that stuff is going to pay off, and maybe it already has started to. So
No,
that's the most we can hope for.
it's impressive what amount of good can be done when a group of like-minded people come together for a common goal, and focus on positive things, put energy towards positiveness. And that I did get to watch the stream um, the other night of Scott's, where he had that human encounter with the train kid. I think his name was Lucas.
Yep.
And his dog, and that was cool, because that's the person that I know,
And that's real life. That's real life.
and see, yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
and
it's amazing how he has the ability. Um, every time you turn around, he has the ability to be drawn or draw people in for those types of interactions. And I got to tell you, watching that whole thing, it was just incredible. You know, the impact that he had on somebody else's life. Uh, it was just a an incredible thing to watch. It really was. I mean, the kid felt it, and I guarantee you, he's going to be talking about that night for a long time. He's going to be telling that story about he called out to this guy on the road, and then this happened.
Yeah.
And it, I that's what the world should be. But then, to flip
No,
over to the bad side of it, listening that night and the next day to all the haters and how they had to twist and turn and mutilate anything that was good in that event was disgusting. It wasn't shocking because that's all they fucking do. I mean, they don't do anything else. That's it. They had every negative thing you could even come close to dreaming up to say about it. And
well, I heard some people saying that this was done just for the camera, and he doesn't give a shit, blah blah blah. And I say that's the person that I know that I see, because I witnessed him do it without the fucking camera on, and
yeah,
uh, it was real. It was a real encounter. It was as real as it fucking gets. Um, I also heard one person try to twist it into something um, perverted. They were just watching, hoping that uh, you know Scott would stay in the hotel room with the guy, so they could turn it into some kind of perversion of their own fascination, I guess.
yeah. I heard the same thing. I heard something like a particular streamer was waiting for that, just waiting to see if he stayed in the hotel with him or not, and that's really why they stuck around. And
That's
that's
weird.
just yeah, that's fucking weird. There's no other way to say it.
It is.
And,
No,
and
no.
I got to tell you, for everybody in the chat that was there that night, and I'm going to guess most of the people in chat here tonight um, were there and witnessed that. Those are special moments. You don't get to experience shit like that. Um, that is so uh, spontaneous. It just comes out of nowhere, and anything could have changed the outcome of that. A semi going by to the point where Scott didn't hear him yell at him, or his dog might have taken off the other way, and he had to run after his dog, and then Scott would have just drove down the road. And there's so many things that could have happened to prevent it, but didn't. And it was a real treat for everybody that was there and enjoying it, and trying being included in it, talking with him, and watching him eat, and just all of it, everything. Afterward, there were so many interactions and so many really special moments that I hope everybody really um is warmed by that, that their heart is able to feel that without all the other bullshit being thrown on top of it. We all have to get good at ignoring the stupidity, and I think most of us are pretty good at it. But there's just certain times where you really got to block the crazy out and just enjoy the moment, because like I said, I think Lucas is going to tell that story for a long, long time. And then
Oh, he will.
the girl was on the phone, and you could just hear it in her voice and in his voice, and just everything about it. It was a great moment. Really, I really appreciate that part of the stream world. I mean, it's something that you get to share with somebody that you just typically don't have that many experiences to do. So
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's awesome, and it's awesome to see all the people that come together to make it possible. And uh, quite honestly, at one point wanted to, dare some of them assholes to do the same thing, but I realized that it wouldn't be as organic, because if you don't understand, being witnessing it with Scott, had certain people are drawn to him, and I think he's drawn to certain people. It's like when you go places, there's just people stand out and kind of gravitate that way. And a lot of some of them have been witnessed on stream. Um, but I don't think it would be the same, but
Well, I mean, it really, to me, if people just pay attention, the people that are on the hate train, for example, that don't really know the details of things, they're just angry because other people are angry. They've never met DOA, they've never had any personal interactions with them, they've seen stuff online, they've heard from different people. They watch the MLH shit show or any of the others that are out there spreading the bullshit about things. I think if these people would just kind of take a step back and realize that it is organic and it is spontaneous and it's something that really counts in a person's life, and that's what we all should strive to do, is try to make somebody's life a little bit better than it was 5 minutes ago. And he's really good at that. He pays attention to it. It means something to him. And for those of us that have been around Scott for the last 3+ years, going on almost 4 years now, we've seen this plenty of times. I mean, you guys have seen it quite a bit too since he's been out here. We had a really nice violin concert outside the RV. We had an art show right there at a gas station. And any number of other times where you know he drove up to a diner in the mountains and sat with a guy until the fucking wrecker came to help him because he didn't want to leave him stranded out there, and just sat on the back of the damn gate of the car and talked and laughed. So, I mean, that's the stuff that matters in life, and it should matter to more people. And I- it's it's really cool to watch how he's unaffected by all the hate and the derogatory comments and all that stuff. And that's proven by the fact that he just keeps doing it. I mean, even just somebody's broken down and he's able to stop, he'll stop. And if he can help him, he will. But
I always thought that's just how you're supposed to be in life.
yeah, pretty much. But I can tell you what you said a minute ago. White Snake is, um, you'd like to see these other people do it. I can tell you that 95% certainty that wouldn't happen, and a number of them proved it by their own words. The day after that happened, because MLH and them, they were very clear about the fact that they would never fucking let a guy like that in their vehicle. They wouldn't stop.
Right.
They wouldn't pay attention to him, and they were clear about that.
They'd be
And
too
I
chicken shit to do it.
I hope they're proud of that. It shows what their character is. Um, and if you are proud about that, you know, I got no time for you. I really don't. And
No.
here's the other end of that. You get what you put out in this world, good, bad, and otherwise. And if you're not willing to step out, and the hypocrisy of MLH, because I specifically heard him say, "Hell no, I would never stop for somebody like that. Or that I just wouldn't happen. Let him." The hypocrisy of that and his community outreach and his safe space and his all of his recognition of the hotlines and all that stuff. It's like, how do you say one thing and completely do another in
Yeah.
almost the same breath? I've
Yeah.
never
That
under,
that's
I've never
always
understood that.
that's always bothered me. That just uh yeah, what an ass to even
Yeah,
be able to do that with a straight face. You know,
right.
it's but it
I
just
want
it
to.
just goes to show the character as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
The complete, you know, uh completely oblivious or not self-aware at all.
right. I'm gonna back up just a half a second and answer a question here to Tracy or Kat or whoever that might be. Is this a propaganda stream in favor of DOA's character? Fuck yes, it is.
I,
Next
I
question.
actually thought we were just having a conversation on the phone for a little bit. I forgot chat was even here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm watching most of it, but um, yeah, absolutely. This is a propaganda stream in favor of DOA's character, and if you don't like that, Tracy, Kat, whoever you are, get the fuck out. We don't care because you're the example of the that shit is an example of what's wrong with most of the things going on.
Well,
So
this is reality. Welcome.
yeah, sit back and listen. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your hands off the keyboard and pay attention. You might learn a few things. But and we try not to do this that much, but there's just certain times when I feel like I need to say a few things, and tonight just happens to be one of those times. And after the positives that we've experienced together as a chat with DOA, to see once again how psychotically delusional these people are, and how they interpret or misinterpret everything. It's just it's just a little more than I want to handle, or accept. Um, so I mean, if chat has anything to add, I'll try to catch it and read off statements or comments. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Um, if I miss something, say, hey, you missed it, or repeat it, or whatever, and I'll try and catch it. But um, I definitely want to talk about Fin Pubes going live tonight, um, just because the level of stupidity expressed on that stream tonight is once again, an hour and a half of the perfect example of how much nonsense this stuff is. I mean, I could probably talk for a full hour and a half on the stuff that they talked about for an hour and a half, and probably add to everything that they said, and give some different input on it. But if you want, we can just if you want to go through some of the stuff that they were talking about, I'm all for that. What do you think, chat? What do you want to do?
You,
And White Snake, I'll just say this: I appreciate what you just said a minute ago. That it just
what's
felt
that?
like we were on the phone, and
No, I'm
that
serious. I did
you
for a
know,
minute. I'm pretty tired tonight. And for a minute there, I thought we were just talking on the phone, and then I looked up and
yeah,
saw the chat again.
yeah, and I mean, and I appreciate that because you and I have some pretty good conversations. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's it's something. Z is the best, absolutely. See how easy that is, chat. Just throw it out there. We'll get it on here for you. Yeah, I appreciate the conversations we have because we talk real. We talk about things that happen and don't happen, and we don't sit there and gossip and make up lies and just completely destroy reality, like we watch and
No.
everybody else watches when they tune into this crap. I think it's a strong statement to see so many people um, in these YouTube streets that say, "I just can't watch them anymore. I just can't do it." You know, I just can't.
I
I mean,
I
that's a
really
that's a
try
strong,
not to watch them.
yeah, and that's pathetic. I mean, the fact that happens and that is a reality is a shame. It really is. There's no reason for it.
It's asinine. I mean, if I wanted to listen to people talk about buttholes all for several hours, then uh,
Right.
yeah, maybe that would be the place to go. But
Yeah.
it's just not. I don't get the humor at all. I guess maybe if that's
Yeah.
you want to call that
Well, I mean,
humor, but I
here, here, here's here's the thing about that white snake is it's not so much just having that discussed or talked about. It's about drudging on for hours on end about that. For somebody to bring
Yeah.
it up, and I'll give you a good example that you missed in the stream tonight. Um, DOA treated us all to a song tonight, and it was wonderful. He's one of the best singers on YouTube. I don't know why he doesn't get a record deal when other people have. He should be in the studio somewhere, just singing his heart out. But he mentioned butthole a couple times in his song, and that was it. It wasn't dwelled on for the next hour. It wasn't taken out of context, and everybody laughed, and it was exactly what it was supposed to be. But when people just drone on about it for an hour and a half straight, multiple times a week, yeah, I get the same feeling.
Yeah, it just seems like the same conversation over and over again. Yeah, I can't do it. But I did listen to um, some of their crap from tonight, and uh, I can't tell you how many times they were just talking out the side of their neck, complete falsehoods.
Yeah,
It's
but it's their truth.
it's yeah,
I, I,
yeah.
I will say one thing about what they did tonight. That was probably the closest thing to a parody that I've ever seen them do, because it was unscripted. They didn't have anything planned out except for a couple points, which you could tell, and they just kind of let their mouths flap open, and that sounded more parody to me than anything I've ever heard them do. Which I'm not going to say was entertaining, but at least it came closer to parody than what it usually does. But like for example, they started talking about Scott's mechanical skills, and MLH admits that he doesn't know shit as far as mechanical stuff goes, and no idea.
That's
But
pretty obvious.
yeah, he literally said, "Well, Dougie, that's why I have you here to lean on, because I know you don't know everything, but you know more than me." And I thought, well, that's not a big challenge there to know more than him, because I'm surprised he knows how to put air in a tire the way he talks. But they kept going on and on about uh, Scott with his tires today, and everything they said about it. I mean, literally everything they said about it was wrong. Both of them, even the people in chat. The people in chat were making comments about it, and he was putting it up on the screen, talking about how to rotate tires. And dipshit Dougie was, oh, you gotta rotate them front to back, and you gotta cross them over, and you gotta do this, and well, when you get those four tires, doing this and doing that, and wait a minute, did he buy new tires or did he buy used tires? There's a reason why people take tires off of a vehicle, because they're no good anymore. And it's like,
Yeah,
uh,
they
how
were
long?
trying to play it off at one point like he put used tires on, and
Right.
that just goes to show me, right there's a good example of how they have no uh context behind any of what's going on, and people just make assumptions of what they see on a video or live stream, and come to their own conclusions about why shit's being done, or you know any of that, because I know what the fuck he was doing, and why he was doing it, and
Yeah.
uh
And how
i'm
they were
pretty
doing
sure
it.
he's saving pretty sure he's saving. He's probably got new tires. He's saving, at least that's what I hope he's doing, saving new tires for the front after he gets his
Yeah, that's exactly
shocks
what he's
on.
doing.
And
Yeah, that's exactly what he's
yeah.
doing. Can you see the chat yet? Do you see Sassy Pants there yet?
Oh,
Sorry,
I was trying not to even look,
I
but
didn't,
okay,
I
I'll
didn't, I
look.
didn't, I didn't mean to make the laughing sounds there over top of you talking, but
That's
I
okay.
agree. Dougie is the
What
Timu version.
what did Sassy Pants say?
So Dougie is the Timu version of Eddie Haskell. And I swear to God, that's pretty accurate. That's pretty damn close. But uh,
Something. I did a live stream the other night, and this has just been stuck in my head ever since. I had the realization as I was doing the live stream, and it's been stuck in my head since then. And even tonight, listening to these idiots up there cackle and do their thing. Um, it replayed, like I think Doug he even said, oh, this could be my last Thanksgiving or something to that effect. And I know he's expressed that he has health issues. That I think here these assholes spend what, a minimum of like 9 hours a week,
Something
um,
like that. Yeah.
uh,
7
up
to 9
up
at least.
up up 90% talking about DOA because that's the only way they really get views anyways, on any of his other shit. Even when he's giving out food, he gets, can't even hold like 50 people on a live stream. But I think that's like a part-time job that you're spending that amount of hours of your lifetime. Plus, they like to brag about all this time they spend behind the scenes, gathering stuff and putting it together and doing their lame fucking commercials,
Right.
that are quite concerning, to be honest with you. Uh, even that Flea, when she does some of her commercials, it's like, wow, what's going on with you? You
Yeah, they can
think
throw some
about
pretty vulgar stuff
you
out
think
there
about some
too.
weird shit.
Yeah.
But all
Hey, I got
that time that's being wasted, it's you're not going to get that back. Is that really is
right.
it
And
really
and
worth that time?
yeah, can somebody make sense of it? And here's
No.
their
I mean, you
response.
do what you
Oh,
want.
yeah, their response to this will be that, "Oh, we're wasting time. What did you guys do last night? You came on and talked about us. So you're wasting time too." Um,
Yeah. How much time did we spend preparing for this?
yeah. Well, if YouTube hadn't been fucking up the stream, it probably would have been about a minute and a half. But other than that, I have a question about the tires, because I don't know the answer straight up. Doesn't he have 10-ply tires on there, which are not radials?
Yeah, I think some of them are 14,
Yeah, 10
12
and
or
14
14.
ply
I know
tires.
some. I know some of them are the heavier ply because he was switching over,
Right,
as he got new ones. He was switching over to the heavier ply.
right, and they're not radial tires. They're just straight 10, 12, 14 ply tires.
Yeah, they're so it's like an industrial tire basically. It's
Yeah, and
they're
whoever
no, a
in
commercial tire.
whoever in Chin Pube's chat that made the comment about the radials and stuff, I just want to get you to pay attention here. It's not radio tires, it's radial tires, not radio. Just a little side note
No,
for you.
he's got bias plies on there, David.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Directional bias plies.
Right. Yeah. So and again, it just goes to show. I mean, I before I said anything, I wanted to ask to clarify it. They just let it fly because that's all they talked about. And dipshit Dougie in his infinite wisdom was focused on the safety and stupidity of trying to rotate radial tires that way, and nobody could figure out what was going on. But um, I think that Dougie's got a big boner for DA or DOA. He has to, because it's the only thing that I've been able to figure out that makes sense. Um, it's like tonight, he went on and on about Scott doing magic tricks, like the card tricks and everything. He just lost it over that. He just talked about what he did as a child, or when he was in kindergarten or something, doing card tricks, and I thought, my God, this guy is so jealous of Scott that it's just he can't even think straight. I'm
All,
guessing that's where a lot of this stuff comes from.
all I know is if I had some sort of heart condition or was having some heart problems or whatever, I sure as fuck wouldn't talk about some asshole in an RV for 9 hours a week online and get myself all worked up over nothing and
Yeah.
fantasies that I dream up. I don't know when they dream up some of the shit they come up with, but
Well,
uh,
the one another thing they dreamed up about the talking about the RV stuff is they're all convinced that the RV is going to get burned up. That's how
yeah,
it's going to go out because he
yeah.
has a history of burning up vehicles. And they're, they had to give all this commentary about calling the fire department and, having an arson investigation take place. And um, I guess I just want to point out to him that there was also legal talk tonight about, different ROs and different cases and things like that. And I just want to let them know that when you talk about somebody burning up their vehicle and you make the claim that it's going to be necessary that there be an arson investigation done, the last I checked, arson's illegal.
Yeah, it's a crime.
So you're kind of sort of putting it out there that he's going to be committing a crime. And
I,
you know, and if you take the effort to call the fire department to require or request an arson investigation based on what? Oh, well, he had a vehicle that caught fire, and he's admitted to that. Well, of course, that means if anything happens to that RV, given the state of the 1977 RV, it would have to be arson. And once again, I'd love to see them go into any type of investigative office and try to explain to them the rationalization they have for opening an arson investigation against this. So I just wanted to
well, I've
bring that up.
never, I've never claimed to be a brilliant person or anything like that, but I just have a hard time wrapping my head around why somebody without full coverage insurance would decide to uh, supposedly burn down their vehicle on purpose on the side of a highway in a town that they're not from, or purposely have an accident somewhere where they're in the middle of nowhere and give up their vehicle. I just don't know what the benefit of that would be. You know,
Yeah, I don't either. And how they come up with that stuff, how that's how their brain patterns work is astounding to me because it's just
it really
nonstop.
is.
It doesn't matter what the circumstance is, what the subject is, or otherwise. They always come up with a way to spin it in a way that just not even close to reality. Um, and and again, it's insane to me to watch them all do this to the scale that um, they're putting themselves in kind of bad positions because you can't go around accusing people of crimes where you have no proof of it. You have no way to substantiate it other than your gut feeling. Kind of like MLH was talking about. If he gets an RO, by God, he's not scared. He's not scared of DOA. He said that 4 times in an hour and a half. By the way, that he's not scared, which makes me wonder why he had to repeat that so many times. But when he talked about um, the potential of getting an RO from Scott, um, his first statement about it was that, oh, I know what he wants. I know what he's going to do. He's going to want me to take a plea deal
Yeah, I did hear that
and
part. That
and not
that's
and not fight it.
fucking idiot.
Hey, chat, have you guys ever heard of anybody taking a plea deal in an RO? It's a brilliant concept if you think about it. You know,
uh,
it's just it's just crazy as hell. It's like the greatest hits. I mean, it was bizarre. Here's another big thing that I want to speak half at least half serious about. Um, they got into the whole thing about streets tonight, and I'm not going to talk about anything about Scott's cases or otherwise. I'm not going to do that. It's not my place, and I know better than to talk about it that way. Other than one simple
yeah,
thing here, a concept that I'll throw out. Um, they kept referring back to Scott having a problem with these different people that have said and done things against him when he does the same thing to other people. And they use Streets as an example. And they said, what Streets did to do DOA was the same thing that DOA did to Taco Joe. And their rationale was just simply that. that DOE did the same thing to him. So how dare he say anything about somebody else? And I just want to let them know the difference is really, really pretty clear that when someone says something about you that either puts you in danger or otherwise, that's not true, that's fabricated, that has no basis in reality whatsoever, um, compared to someone in the same situation that says things about you that's part of your actual history that are all true, that are not fabricated lies. There's just absolutely no comparison between the two. None whatsoever. I hope at least some of these people will hear that, And another thing that I'll comment on is they talked about Scott serving ASL while he's in jail. That's so low. What kind of a piece of shit do you have to be to go after somebody on something like this, or otherwise when they're in jail? You've got to be a real scumbag piece of crap to do that to somebody
That's
in
the
jail.
best place to serve somebody.
And here's a little history lesson for those that haven't been paying attention to reality. Um, Go back in time and think about when Scott lost his channel, for example, when he got 3 strikes on his channel. And one of those people just happens to be in jail right now. When did that happen? That happened while Scott was sitting in jail. So we're going to defend one and hammer down the other? I mean, think about it, folks. And another example, and this includes people that are regularly in Chin Pube's chat.
Actually, I think real quick, so I don't mean to interrupt you, but I actually think, and I don't know how he's even doing it or whatever, but I actually think it's cheaper to serve somebody when they're in jail, anyways. 'Cause you can just have it's like $50 to have the sheriff's office do it while they're in custody, rather than
Yeah,
paying a
yeah,
process server $150.
yeah, it's easier to find them, that's for sure. No doubt about that. But the other thing that happened was when the East Coast hater train pulled into LA. Um, they were around here and there, but when they really kicked it into high gear, and again, these this included a number of people that are in his chat regularly. When did they really amp it up and start infiltrating all of the community, the different channels and stuff in the community in this space? Anybody? Yeah, when Scott was in jail.
Yeah.
So for you puny brain people that want to go after DOA for doing things the way he's doing it without going after the ones you're supporting for doing the exact same thing, that's a great example when it is the same thing. Yeah. Little history lesson. Pay attention. Not going to
Yeah,
hurt you to
enough
learn
to
these
where
things. Go ahead.
no, never mind. I was starting to say something, but then I
Yeah, notice.
thought of something else.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I would love to say, and someday I'll have an opportunity to do that. Um,
Yes.
yeah, and I'm waiting for that time to come. But um, it's just this whole thing, and people are so thirsty to be relevant. Um, you know, I'll call out a name. I'll break the number one rule in Scientology protesting. Um, Gina was in there tonight, just throwing out all kinds of fucking stupid statements, just to egg the whole thing on. and there was
She
no
puts a
basis
lot
for
of time in.
anything. Yeah, yeah, she's really invested for some reason,
Yeah.
and I'd have to guess that the reasons are probably fabricated because I don't know what else it would be. Here's a funny one. Anybody want to pay attention to this one? Actually, two things related. Somebody in his chat tonight literally said this. Okay, this is I wrote it down. As a matter of fact, I put quotes on it. Um, the beach house said, "I don't watch, but notice he has plants in the RV." Anybody anybody want to throw out there what's wrong with that statement? And then here's what made it even better. Um, yeah, I don't have any problem naming names, just so everybody knows. I've never had much of an issue with that. So um, here's what made that even better. Chin Pubes reads that and makes a comment that yeah, DOA, you need to get more light in those plants because it's not good for those plants to keep them in the RV. They just don't get enough light. And he said it with a series of voices you can say that in. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, you're concerned about his plants? Or are you concerned about his welfare because the plants are a good thing for him? Just in the middle, just out of nowhere, he wants to give Scott direction on how much light these fucking plants should get. You know, after he talks about how much of it is a ridiculous moving jungle.
That,
I,
that's
I
part of
hope,
what boggles
yeah,
my
go ahead.
mind is the fact that just how concerned they are with every single aspect of every single thing this guy does, and anything they see online, then whatever they don't see, they create in their head.
Yeah.
It's just it's just
Well,
wild.
I mean, and one creates it, and then 10 more jump on board to support it, to drive it home. You know, like they witnessed it themselves when I know for a fact they didn't because that's not at all what happened. The thing, whatever it is they're talking about, they do that all the time. You know, it's crazy. Um, and it doesn't stop. But there's a couple things I just wanted to bring up. I mean, I don't want to go on for hours about this stuff.
No, I
Like I
really
said,
don't either.
I'll 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 do what I can as far as answering questions from chat or anything else. But um, I don't want to throw these out there. This one's for Chin
Oh.
Pew, because someone in the chat tonight said to him, and he brought it up on the screen that he is the voice of reason and
Hmm.
calm. Okay, he said he put that up there. Somebody in his chat said it, and then he reread that. And my only comment to that, Chin Pubes, is at least when that was said about me, JoJo wrote a really nice song about it. Has she written a song for you yet? I haven't heard it. If she has.
Well, and if you're done, I'll give him a little bit of
I got
free.
two more. I got two
Okay,
more.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, he's having a fundraiser tomorrow, and it's going to be for his community outreach. And I don't know if everybody's familiar with it or not, but I happened to go into his stream a couple weeks ago, um, and I'm blocked in there. But I figured out that I could leave a super chat, and it would come up in there highlighted so they could see what I was saying. So I kind of took advantage of that, and I made some $2 donations. And that day, with my urging and finesse, I'll say, he raised $450 for his community outreach. And I made sure that I let him know that you're welcome for the lessons on fundraising and how to raise money. He's going to do it. He's going to do it again tomorrow. He's already gotten quite a bit of money in there. But first of all, chin pubes, quit using my name to fundraise because I don't give you permission to do that when I'm not there. That's cheating, you know. And then I also just say that when they raised $450 with my guidance, it took me about a half an hour to raise that, and he's not at 450 yet, and he's been working on it for 2 weeks. So just wanted to throw that out there. And then finally, on my part, two-part deal. Dipshit Dougie, how can you compare DT, Disaster Peace Theater? How do you compare that to South Park? Because his example was that Scott can't sue anybody for anything that they say about him because look at what South Park did. You know, we're up here making jokes and this is a parody show and yada yada yada. And just like South Park, you know, said all that stuff about Trump. And Trump, where's Trump? Trump isn't suing them. He can't sue them for that. They're allowed to say whatever they want. And I'm thinking, first of all, you don't know anything about Trump because he is in the record of in the history of this country, he has sued more people than any other living being there is. And you're damn right he can sue him anytime he wants to. But he compared DT to South Park. And if that's not fucking delusion, I don't know what is. Now, part two to this, because it's going to include dipshit, I'm real close to having my channel ready to go. And I thought I was going to go live on it tonight. But I just didn't want to get into a situation where I had a panel going and something happened that I didn't know how to handle and control and leave people hanging. I just didn't want to do that to everybody. So I'm just going to get a little bit better up to speed on what's going on and how to handle all that stuff. But here's my invitation. Here's my challenge: is dipshit. You keep thinking that because I didn't respond to you in a BT chat one night that you had me running scared, or that you cleaned my flock, or however you say it. This is your official invitation. As soon as I start going live, as soon as I get my channel up and running, come on up, buddy. Let's talk. Let's see where that ends up. Write it down. I'll remind you, I'm sure. But anytime you're feeling up to it, show up. And that's as far as I want to go with that, with anything else.
Well, I'll say a couple things. I'm curious. I know that these clowns had said the other day that um, they had stepped away from a mod that they had. Let's just say pixie dust, and um, because pixie dust was a liar and blah blah blah. I'm curious. So once this court shit's over and Becky's usefulness is
Gone.
not as needed, uh, and they realize that she's a liar, are they going to disavow her as well? Are they gonna cut her?
Well, my quick answer to that, White Snake, is very, very simple, and it came to my mind immediately. They're all going to just be dissolved apart because the only thing that these people have in common is DOA hate. That's it. I mean, what else do they have? You know, his name is on their mouth every time they open it. His name is in most of their titles. Their channels are dedicated to hating them and lying about them. What else do they have? I mean, hell, I could tell you right now, a lot of the people that I've been familiar with that have been involved around Scott for the last 3 to 4 years that are out here blended in with some of the people from the West Coast, the Scientology people and such. If they knew more about those people that are in their chat yucking it up with them,
Huh.
I, I don't I don't see it going the way they think it's going to go. So yeah, I mean, once it's done, uh, I mean, usefulness is going to take on a whole new meaning for these people and what they tolerate and what they learn. Here's a question for all you guys. You guys are all so tight knit and tucked in together and on the same page. How many of you are spending Thanksgiving with somebody else from the community? Anybody? Let me know tomorrow on your show, Chin Pubes. How many people are you going to host for Thanksgiving at your house from the community, from your community, from these people that you've locked arms with, that you agree with everything they say, no matter what it is? How many? If you couldn't even help a stranger on the road, I sure as hell don't think you're going to invite somebody that you don't know other than a chat room into your house or near your house. And see, I can tell you on the other side of the equation, I'm not going to name a bunch of names, but I can tell you, I know for a fact that there's a whole lot of little groups of friends that hang out in real life that are involved in this. They know each other. They like each other. They think the same way. They live and think in reality. They don't lie to each other. They don't agree with somebody just because they said something stupid for the cause. You know, toss that around, figure it out.
Well, honestly, I hope a lot of people make sure they take some time and really put it towards what's really important. You can go back to your hate campaign, but take a little bit of time to do what really matters before the clock just runs out. 'Cause
Yeah,
honestly,
see,
none of us are promised tomorrow.
I don't say that much in their direction, White Snake, and the reason why I don't think that it registers with them what that actually means, because you can't live your life right and do what you do online every day
No,
when they
no,
complete when they completely contradicts each other. It just doesn't work that way. Human brain's a pretty powerful thing, but when you start throwing all the human emotion and integrity and everything else into it, and when you're held accountable. Oh, another thing, here's one I thought was really funny. By the way, I just remembered. Um, Dipshit actually challenged DOA to an IQ test.
uh,
I so wish I could make that happen. I really do.
that would actually be great.
It
That would
would.
that would be great.
Yeah, I'll throw some money into the kitty to try to make that happen.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Betty.
definitely.
He was pretty adamant about it. But there's one
Yeah,
name
and
that I intentionally left out of this conversation on my end tonight with good reason, because when people become that irrelevant, I'm not going to waste my breath on them. So,
yeah,
right, I
yeah,
mean,
it's not worth it. And there's several people that just don't even uh, have.
yeah,
Yeah, they don't get it. They don't get the pleasure of having their name mentioned.
right. Well, I mean, I wrote a banner for my channel, and one thing it says in there is I love to debate, and I invite you to join in if you know how, because I love a good debate. I really do. But I'm not going to debate with anybody that opens their mouth and first thing out of their mouth is just a blatant lie and stupid. That's not what debate is. So I hope people
Uh,
can see that. I mean, hell, I debate with everybody I know. Hell, I debate with you. I debate with Direwolf. A lot. I mean, just everybody. Scott. You know, everybody thinks that we're
yeah,
all constantly on the same page. But
I got like 20 more dollars I need to get together, and I then I get to talk to Scott for like an hour. So
really,
I'm working on getting that point. Yeah, I got like $20.
right?
Um, it was hard getting most of it together, but I'm almost there. So
Well,
I'm hoping he'll spare the hour.
don't ask me for it, but because you know I don't have it. I mean, fuck, Lisa.
I know. You
Lisa
give
keeps
so much
dumping cash.
already.
Well, Lisa keeps dumping cash into him. So and
Y-
uh, it's kind of funny. I said that today. Of course, to get a reaction out of the haters because that's what they do. They'll run with it. But it was actually comical when
Sweet Z.
somebody in his chat tonight um, said David B said that Lisa gave him $5,000. I call bullshit. I don't think it really happened. And then MLH put that up on the screen and read it, and then went into some kind of fucking stupid tirade about how big of a piece of shit I am, and that I'm a gimp and all that stuff. A good minute or so, I would guess, between all of it. So um, I'm sorry for interrupting your show tonight without even being there, weak boy. But
Yeah, he doesn't like you very much, David. I don't know why.
yeah, well, I've come to the conclusion that it's not so much that they don't like me; it's more so that they either want to be me or they just have a secret crush on me. I
That
just,
could be.
it's weird, I know, and for a guy to say it, of course, ask Scott, and I'm a woman, but that's beside the point. Um,
Well, I
I
noticed
just,
they don't talk about you unless it's in some sort of sexual nature most of the time.
yeah, a lot of
That's
times
what
it is.
I I find odd, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean,
Maybe it's the voice.
there's all kinds of reasons it could be. Well, I wish I
Yeah.
had a voice. I wish I had a voice like MLH that would reach people and be able to be what was the word again? Oh, voice of reason. Yeah, I wish I had that, but I can't have everything in life.
Yeah. I would like to be able to tell people how trustworthy I am, and
Right.
um,
Yeah.
that's I would love to be able to do that, but I can't go around bragging or nothing.
Well, we all can't live the righteous life of a lot of these people. So, it's just something I've learned to deal with and adapt to. I try not to feel inferior, but um sometimes it's there, and you just gotta roll with it. So
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think I might try doing a little bit of auditing here real soon. I might do an audit and see how it goes.
really, you're gonna step
Yeah.
out? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you gonna do
Yeah.
it live? I mean,
Yeah.
it's tough
Yeah.
work, man. It's tough. Now
Yeah. Yeah.
let me warn you.
I'm gonna give it a shot. I
Yeah,
mean,
hold on.
I know I'll never stand up to the greats or nothing, but yeah, I never even I mean I passed the 8th grade constitution test, but
All right,
besides that,
well,
I fucking really haven't.
before you put too much more into this, I just want you to be aware of the fact that when you go out and you have a confrontation with law enforcement, they might dox you.
Oh no,
And unless
they
you're
already
wait,
know.
unless you're prepared to handle that kind of pressure, Um, you need to give it some thought. What, they already
Yeah,
know your
I
name?
yeah, I called into the sheriff and the chief of police, and I sent them. It was done in writing, and I demanded that I be referred to as White Snake. So yeah, no, I'm good
And
there.
they were okay with that?
I'm Yeah, they said no, no, no problem. That's our standard procedure.
No, did you ask them if there was any reason why they would say your real name? If you were out there doing your 1A stuff? I mean, was there any did they give you any guideline for that to kind of safeguard that type of potential doxing?
No, no. I mean, in fact, the sheriff said that if I had a problem with it, to contact him directly. And since I sent it in writing, that he would personally make sure that any deputy that had the gall to call me by my actual name when he made contact with me, he will discipline them and dock their pay for sure.
Wow. All right. So you just
Yeah.
gave me a lot of confidence, buddy. I think
Yeah.
when I go out next week, I think Wednesday or Thursday, I'm not sure. To have lunch with the police chief up here, I'm going to talk to him about going out and doing some 1A stuff. I'm going to see if he'll, give me the same assurance.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm sure he will. But you have to send it in writing. It's it's some sort of legal mumbo jumbo I don't quite get, but as long as he gets it in writing, then you're set.
Right. So, you think that if I buy lunch, that will count for anything? Do you think that'll give me an advantage here?
Well, you
It's
might
not
want to take
illegal,
him
is it?
something. I wouldn't take him any fucking Costco hot dogs though, because quite honestly, they've really gone to shit. I remember when it was the Price Club years ago, and you'd go in there and get one. They were pretty good. They're actually pretty tasty. But it wasn't too long ago. I got one, and that thing sucked, man. The only thing good about it was the bun. I literally threw away a good half of the hot dog and just ate the bun with relish and onions on it. So
Oh my god, that's incredible.
yeah.
Sorry. I
Yeah,
held on as
I
long
hope
I held
somebody.
on as long as I could, buddy. Oh, unbelievable. Hey, MLH, I'm gonna be
Yeah,
watching your show tomorrow. No pressure, buddy. There's no pressure at all. I'm gonna be watching your show tomorrow and see how you do. See if you took notes when I taught you about fundraising the right way. And I know that you said that 450 that I raised for you that day was a record for your channel. And also, I think you said that day that the likes that you got that day were the highest you've ever gotten in a single stream too. So I will be watching tomorrow to make sure that you took notes and that you were paying attention. And if I need to stop in and help you out, I'll think about it. After some of the stuff you said about me tonight, it's going to be hard, but I'll try to swallow my pride and quit dreaming about wearing your skin and help you out a little bit. We'll see. Because that Costco hot dog thing, man, that's important.
yeah.
Hey,
Well, I
hey,
think
Chad,
I
let
think
me ask you. Go ahead.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Ask chat.
No, Chat. I was going to ask Chat if they've ever heard of anybody that does homeless outreach that drives around and looks for the people that look homeless to hand food
Yeah.
out to. Uh, Anybody ever heard of that? I mean, I guess it might be an effective way to do it. I'm not sure what the
I mean, shit.
criteria is, but
There's a lot of days when I'm working doing something. Uh, I go to lunch. If I was in that area, I might just hang out and see if, um, maybe he'd come by and think I was homeless or something, and throw me a hot dog and a pair of socks. That'd
that'd
be
be awesome.
that would be awesome. I don't know if I don't know about the hot dog, but maybe a slice of pizza. Uh,
Well, here I can tell you what might help is if you have a couple little kids with you, that might draw them in a little bit quicker. Not that
yeah,
he
yeah,
not that he films kids while he's doing this or anything. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to insinuate anything here, but um, it seems like it might help. So might even
Possible.
get you an extra hot dog.
Possible.
You know,
Possible.
I mean, not
It,
that, like I said, just to clarify, not that that would ever be intentional, but you never know.
It'd be cool is if whenever he goes and does his little handout thing, uh, maybe he could find a homeless person that he views as being homeless and unhoused, and he could pick them up and pay him like $5-10 for a little bit of his time, and that person could go with him to help hand out and spot potential needy individuals.
I don't know. I get what you're saying, but I don't know if he would be able to adapt to the criteria that he uses for making his stops. For the right people.
Yeah,
That person's vision of a homeless person might be completely different than, and of course it'd be completely wrong if it was different, but it might be completely different than Chin Pubes is. So I don't know.
well, at least he's getting like 40-50 miles a gallon while he's doing it, so
True. Good
hats
point.
off to him there. So
Good point.
it's
Absolutely a good point.
and and I think he's good for at least a few more months before he needs to worry about registration again. So
That's true. But
six
considering it's
hundred dollars
taken him,
registration, that seems like a lot. I don't mean to sidetrack, but I just hit me.
no,
That's
it's
a
high.
fucking lot,
Yeah, it's
isn't
high in
it?
Colorado. It's offset by other stuff that others pay that they don't. But yeah, car registration is expensive there. But here's the kicker to
Wow,
that white snake is everybody that owns a car that has the ability to buy a car in Colorado, they know ahead of time that they're responsible for a high registration. And you would think that it would be a good idea to plan for that ahead of time and not go outside of your means to the point where you have to grift for fucking car registration. But maybe that's
yeah,
just me. Maybe that's just me. I'm not saying I'm right on that, but it just seems logical to me. I mean, I budget most of our bills and stuff. If I could just get if I could just get Lisa to quit sending DOA all of her money, it'd be a lot easier.
good luck.
But those blue eyes, man. I think that's what it is. I think she's locked in those
Yeah,
blue eyes, and I think it's a losing battle on my part. So I just don't even say anything anymore. I really don't. I just let her do her thing. It's her money anyway, I guess. So
yeah. Well, you want to keep your happy wife, happy life.
right, right, yeah. And really, I mean, doesn't I mean money's not everything. I'll just
No,
that's my philosophy.
that's for that's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I've made enough
absolutely,
money
G.
in life to realize that there's things that are a hell of a lot more important than money
Yeah, absolutely.
or worrying about other people's money. You know, I don't.
Especially worried
I
about
never.
other people's money.
Yeah, that's a shit. I honestly, uh, things always seem to come together and work out each month. Uh, I don't even like to think about fucking my money, let alone somebody else's.
Yeah, that's true.
Shit.
But it's funny you say that because that's something else that I heard tonight was if he does get an RO against him from Scott, one of his defenses is going to be to go after Scott about who's holding his money. Swear to God, he said that. I, I will bring that
Well,
up, and there's lots of investigators out there that are going to want to know what happened to that money. I wonder if he
well,
realizes the look he's going to get if he actually said that to somebody. And this
I
son of a
don't know
bitch
where.
will get this money, and I don't know where it is, but I'm sure somebody else is holding on to it for him, and blah, 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 blah. It's like he's stupid. Oh my god, yeah,
Well,
I forgot about that. It was
and
funny.
and I just want to say real quick, just for educational purposes, uh, A bail bondsman doesn't pay if a bail bond's $500,000. You have to come up with 10% of that, which would be $50,000. Okay. Um, a bail bondsman doesn't go in there and give them $50,000. Bail bondsman goes in there and basically like writing insurance. You have a bond from a surety that's has a $50,000 face value. You give them that. You collect your 10%. Out of that 10%, you end up paying between 20 and 25% for the bond and uh, to the surety. Then you secure enough collateral to cover the rest of the full 500,000 through your cosigner and real property. And uh, even if you were on as the cosigner, bondsman's not going to just throw somebody in jail because you say, "Oh, I'm over them, throw them in jail." Their bondsman's job is to keep the person out of jail. So somebody would come in with those requirements and take it over. But I don't think you guys quite understand how that all works, and I honestly don't think that.
Well, I can look, White Snake. I can just tell you right now, you're wasting your breath because you lost every one of them as soon as you said the bail bondsman doesn't go in there and give them 50 grand. They started screaming as
No,
soon as you said that. So
no, fuck
you know,
no.
I mean, they're lost on all of it, and I gave up a long
I
time
don't know
ago on
about
trying
other.
to educate these people, but they're not
I
going
don't
to
know about
listen.
other state. I don't know about other state. I do know about a few states, but I don't know every state, of course. But um, going through all this crap, I learned California how it works. So
Yeah. And I agree with a lot of the comments I'm seeing in chat. You know, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about my own money. I'm certainly not going to care about anybody else's. Excellent point. Um,
right.
and also another excellent point. They're all concerned about money they never gave. They have no connection to this money whatsoever. Um, Here's a personal one. Keep Lisa away from the hugs. If you don't, it will be all over. I hate to even say this, but I'm pretty sure Lisa's watching right now. Um, she was a little bit ago. So, Lisa, if you're watching this, please know you're never going to get a hug. Just know that ahead of time. If that helps keep some of the money back in our account, just take that to heart, please. And this one I really like a lot too. I appreciate realness. Scotty is real. He's an asshole sometimes, but he's got good intentions, and we all see that, or we can see that. That's about as accurate as a description as I think he'd ever want to have. You know, he'll
You
admit
and I,
as he'll admit as quick as anybody that he can be an asshole, and that's okay for people to be an asshole sometimes. But
yeah,
you got to be real, and that's what he is. You know,
no, that's
regardless
100% true.
regardless of the fantasies that everybody wants to make up. Z, don't make me come to California because if I do, I'm not
Some
bringing Lisa with me. Not after that crap.
sometimes I either learn or I'm reminded of things by people that you never would expect. And I'm not even going to say names, but there's a lady that's trying to really hard to build her channel right now, and I have some recordings of her. I'll play someday, but she's the definition of desperate. And listening to her the other day describe DOA and just her perspective of things, and I really saw that it's like that's her reality of it. That's what she thinks is really how things really are and who this person really is. And I realized for a lot of these people, it's like a soap opera that they watch on here and they get really invested in it, and they have their own opinions of what this person's doing and what they this must have happened or that must have happened. Uh, a lot of them have no fucking clue about the real person that's there when the camera's off. They just get wrapped up in this and think that all of it is, uh, not
Well, I
just
mean,
YouTube.
yeah, I agree. I agree completely with that, and I think that's a almost an epidemic in this type of community, because this community is different than most on YouTube. I mean, there's very few that are similar to this, just by the circumstance of it all, and the blend of people that have come together, over time, over a couple of years, to make this a community that it is. But everybody needs to realize, what you just said is really, really important. And I know Scott and I have talked about it a bunch of times. Even if a person streams 9 hours, 10 hours, which is a long fucking stream, there's still another 14 hours in the day that you're not seeing, that you don't get what's going on. And the problem that this community has run into is that blank space has been filled up for a lot of people with bullshit, with
Yeah.
lies, with deceptions, with inaccurate statements, with accusations that just aren't true at all. And now, I'm not saying that Scott or anybody else in this protest, community, is perfect, and that they've not done stupid shit, but to the point of, um, I don't even want to bring it up, but I'll just say it anyway. Vaughn, two, 2.5 years.
Hi,
Every time
Vaughn.
every time, hi Vaughn. Every time she opens her mouth, it's about Scott, to some level, to some degree. It's about Scott. Never fail. That's a guarantee, and everybody knows that. But the problem is that, um, just like somebody else out in the West Coast, and I'm not going to say that name because, it would just be another trigger for them to expand on the accusations about. But back to Vaughn, love you, Vaughn, my queen. I just, I don't understand how it doesn't make sense that if you go on to a YouTube channel with your name on it every day for, give or take, 2 years, every day, and you dwell on some mythical story that's been developed, you're going to be angry. You're going to be, tormented by this stuff. I mean, fuck. There's enough that goes on in these protests that you don't have to make anything up. Just dwell on the reality of things that happen, and don't embellish them into something that they never were and never will be. But what blows my mind is that she justifies her presence the way it is, the way that everybody has seen it, as okay
Hmm.
and right and righteous, and that every single word is Scott's fault. It's the same way with all the accusations from the West Coast about Scott controlling his chat. Every every person that's ever been in Scott's chat more than once is held to a standard that they willingly participate in Scott's chat under his absolute magical direction. That he's got a power over them. So if they go somewhere and say something, Scott ordered it. They're his
Yeah.
words, not their words. And here's the thing. I just heard, I think it was Becky that said just in the last few days, I caught a little bit of one of her streams, and one of the things she said was, when, like, with her mods, when they're in her channel, they represent her. But when they go somewhere else, they represent themselves. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard Becky accuse, and I'll just speak for myself, where I've heard her accuse me of doing Scott's bidding, no matter what the circumstance is or where I'm at. I, and there's no connection to the disparity of that thought process at all. There's just they don't see it at all, and I think that's a big part of what's going on in this community is they don't realize the the uh, the brain twisting that's going on to themselves, of their own words. You know, Chin Pubes talks all the time and dipshit all the time. You did this to yourself, Scott. It wasn't us. You did all this to yourself. This is what you did. This is what it's like. No, 90% of the stuff that you guys talk about is stuff that other people have said, not him at all.
Right.
You know, he doesn't watch your fucking show, dude. He just doesn't. I promise you, he has never watched a full disaster piece theater in the 7 months you've been fucking doing this.
But
Ever.
no, there's no way. No way.
I mean, it's so bizarre how that's not recognized. And I'm not
Besides
trying
the
to
fact he
go
wouldn't
ahead.
have the fucking time. I said, besides the fact he wouldn't have the time with how many phone calls and all
Yeah,
the shit that he has to do is insane.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it just it's crazy, you know. And I mean, Vaughn, just so you know, I know you're going to hear this. I'm not trying to bust on you. I would like you to at least try to understand the perception of the community that it doesn't make sense that you have so much hate that you let it twist the narrative and you let it twist reality. I mean, because I've heard you say all kinds of crap that is just not even remotely attached to reality, and you run with it because you know somebody told you something, or and there's a couple other a couple other creators that are way worse than Vaughn is with that. They hear anything and it's gospel, and they run with it and they build their channels from it, and before you know it, every video they put out has DOA, in the title or a reference to DOA, and that's just crazy.
The feeling I get with like the Vaughn character, and there's several of them that I get this feeling that it's obvious at some point in their life they have been hurt, and that hurt that they have, they've twisted it to project it towards Scott somehow. Like uh, yeah, it's odd. It's odd.
Yeah, it's crazy. And the other thing they've done too, um, just like tonight, they talked about Scott threw you under the bus for the shocks thing. But that's not. I realized what actually where that came from or where it started from was not even a shocks thing. It started with the fact that how could he treat you, say things about you when you're the one that put his bond up? Yeah, yeah, they said that. Just so you know.
Yeah, well,
And chat, just by his reaction of laughter, I think you can perceive what the reality of that is. But it's bizarre. Random
it
serious
is.
question. Random. This one's for you. Oh, never mind. It's not for you. Damn it! I thought you had a good question coming. Come on,
Well,
Kyle. Can you do balloon animals or not? Yeah,
yeah,
Chair. That's the one thing I just want to respond. Chair just said you can actually hear the hate in Vaughn's voice, and it's crazy. It really is. Um, 2.5 years, give or take, down the road. I've never seen anything else like it in my life. And again, I'll put this challenge out. I've done this before. All the people on the hate train, every one of you. I don't give a shit if you've met Scott, not met Scott, had one encounter with him or 100 encounters with him. If you're on the hate train and you're saying all the bullshit you're saying out there, get in touch with me and prove to me what he did to create that. That you're so hell bent on putting him in jail or in prison for 20 years. They're still betting on how long he's going to get. And the comment always comes up, "Oh, I know it's going to be 2 to 6 years, but I'm hoping for 20." And you're just not living in reality
No.
at all. I mean, it's nuts. The other thing I was going to say they do, White Snake, is just like tonight, talking about him throwing you under the bus, trying to make a big deal of it, big production out of it. Forget the fact that they throw in just this lunacy stuff in the statements. But I'll give you a good example of them. If they don't feel like they're reaching Scott, then they reach out to people that they think they can get to Scott through them.
Oh
And a
yeah.
good example is somebody in Chin Bube's chat said that I said the reason that Scott's sister is the way she is because she's drunk. She's a drunk. Okay? They said that. Now, first, anybody, I don't give a shit who you are. Anybody out there, you find me saying that somewhere, I'll send you $100. I'll send you a crisp $100 bill. If I said that I'll even say in a joke. 'Cause I don't think I've ever even said it as a joke. I just don't think I've ever said that. But here's the problem. It doesn't just end there. Because once that was said by someone, then um, who was it? Gina pops up in the chat and says, "Kitty, the sister, if you need it, I have his personal information. If you want to sue him, talking about me for saying she's like she is because she's a drone. If you want to sue him, I have his personal information." Now, what's the purpose of doing that? I can only think of one, because none of them know enough about me to know whether it'd be worth suing me or not. I guarantee you
Hmm.
that. So their only purpose in that is because they hate Scott, and they're going to try to get to me to get to him. And
Yeah.
my response now that I can talk, because I can't respond over there when they say this stupid shit. But my response is very simple. Hey, Gina, Kitty, uh, have at it. Share my personal information, Gina. Sue me, Kitty. Let's have fun with this. Give it your best shot. Let's see where it ends up. And Nosy, you can't make this shit up. It's bizarre. It really is. And again, I wish every time they said something stupid, they gave an explanation as to why they're saying it. But they'll never do that.
No.
It just like some of the other crap going on right now in this community with um a guy that's not showing up for court and stuff right now. There's a
Hmm.
lot of talk about him in all different directions. They talked about him tonight on Chin Pube's channel. Believe it or not, they had time to throw it in there because somebody was in there that's a big enough hater of him, to spill all this crap in there into that chat tonight. And I'll repeat. First of all, there's been a lot of people hurt by that particular channel of people. I'm not the person to sit up here and give details about all that stuff, but I just know for a fact there's people have been hurt outside of YouTube, um, and there's very strong connections that lead to who and what. But what I can speak on, and I know this is just words, okay? These are YouTube words, which honestly I don't give a shit. And when I'm done, I'll just tell you who else doesn't give a shit. But I listened to him make the comment that he wanted to run my wife in her wheelchair down a ski slope and watch her smash into the side of the mountain. He also said about my wife that he wanted to put her on a barbecue grill and have him some roasted or toasted Lisa. Now, there's nothing illegal about him saying that. And I'll never make the claim that him saying that was illegal. But everybody, I don't give a fuck if you're on this side of the equation, on the hate train or otherwise. How about if we all try to be a little fucking smarter about what we do and how we analyze the different people in this group, in this community? Sure wouldn't hurt.
Well, I'm fading out.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted, man.
Well, I'm sorry.
Uh,
I didn't mean to wear you out.
no, I was already tired, but I'm starting to zone off a little bit. So I think I'm gonna call it a night and go get some sleep so I can do something productive tomorrow.
Right. Yeah,
But
I really appreciate you doing a lot tonight, and like I said, I'll have the StreamYard thing figured out. Like I said, I'm paying for it, so I might as well start using it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
but I
like to
really
figure it
appreciate you
out with
doing
you.
that. Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to know how that StreamYard works because
Yeah,
um,
it's
I'd
pretty
also
easy
like
to
to look to see at the
go
other
ahead.
options too, because I know a lot of people have problems with StreamYard. So I don't know what other options are out there, but
Yeah,
um,
no, I mean, for all the ones that I've been a part of, I think StreamYard is as stable as any of them right now. And it does offer a lot of different options. You know, you can have 10 people up on a panel at a time, and a lot of different graphics options and stuff like that. So, um, I'm not trying to sell StreamYard at all. Trust me, but I'll get it up to speed soon and be able to do some lives. I'm not looking at going live very often, but um, I just think there's certain times when nobody else is live, and I or X number of people have something to say, or they want to get off their chest or hear about, then hopefully I can be an avenue for that. Get some real out there, and let the truth win the way it's supposed to. But
yeah, I
I
think it'd
really
be cool.
appreciate you. I really appreciate you coming on like this. Definitely appreciate everybody in chat. I recognize the real. I'll just say it that way. Um, I hope that's a fair way to say things. I just really, really appreciate you guys taking part and hearing things and contributing and you know not trying to bullshit your way through life like a lot of people around us are. So
Well, I look at it like this, David. If I'm just walking into a store and I see some lady being messed with, or somebody trying to grab her purse, and I'm just using this as but um, I'm gonna act. I'm gonna take care of it, and there's gonna be something said. Um, I'm not trying to compare DOA to an old lady, but when I see something that's unjust and wrong, I'm going to say something about it, and
yeah,
that's just how it is.
It's hard not to. It really is.
Yeah.
It's real hard not to. And I appreciate, I mean, I've said this to you before. I probably said it on a stream to you, but I'll say it again. That's why you and I, get along the way we do, because I
Yep.
recognize, um, how you think and what matters to you, and right and wrong means something to you, and it means something to me. So it's uh, it's nice to experience it. So hey, I think the
Yeah. No, I
mansplaining, I think
completely
the
agree.
mansplaining name for my channel might be something worth looking at. I think it's kind of funny as fuck. They want me to name my channel. Let me mansplain.
That'd actually be pretty good.
Yeah, I'm up for that. I might have to do
Yeah.
that.
Well, thank you all for jumping in here and hanging out. And David, always thank you. Um, maybe you can get Lisa to cut back just a little bit. I know Christmas
Nope,
bonus has to go out, but maybe for
not
the
going
new
there.
year she can.
I'm no, I'm
Okay,
not
well,
going there. No, you want to try?
I have
I'll. You've talked to her before. I'll
no,
put her on the
no,
phone. Have at it, dude. I'm not going
no,
near that.
no,
I'm not fighting the blue
no.
eye. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, no,
So
I don't want to get in. I don't want to get in the middle of that. But best of
yeah,
luck to you on it.
yeah. So hey,
Uh,
people are asking if you're going to leave this up at all.
Yeah,
You
I
got
will.
people.
I
You
think
got,
I have to wait. I think I have to wait for it to process or something, and then um, I can. But yeah, it'll be up as soon as it's done processing. I'm I still don't know how to do the setting to where it automatically saves it and does it. A lot of my streams go private automatically, and I don't. Yeah, so
yeah.
it'll be up.
All right.
But
Very
I
cool.
hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving or whatever you celebrate, however you want to do it. Just eat some food, have have some time with people that really matter and that are important. And um, you know,
Yeah, I second that.
remember
I second that completely.
remember this YouTube is entertainment. There's it's there is reality in it as well. It's like the reality TV, but just remember there's a lot of entertainment about it, and don't get so invested and take it so seriously that it just takes over your life and you're
Yeah.
sitting in a dark room with dogs all around you yelling at a phone at 12 o'clock at night or whatever it is because you're so scorned.
Yeah.
That's
No doubt.
that's bad.
Yeah.
All
Keep it
right.
real, everybody. Keep it real, everybody. I mean, you know, just pay attention to what matters. Don't let people lie to you. If somebody says something to you that sounds really off base or really stupid, it's probably off base and stupid for a reason. So, pay attention to that, and spend the next few days with the people that do matter to you. I don't care what you do, even if you sit in the house and do nothing. Enjoy it. Make it real.
Yeah, and that's right. Music. It is. There are real people, and there's real lives. And my one of my things is too is when you take it off of YouTube and interfere in people's real lives, that's a whole nother animal. You
Well,
know.
that's usually the difference between legal and illegal.
Yeah.
That's usually where the line is drawn in this type of space. That's usually, you go outside of YouTube with somebody that's in YouTube, chances are, unless you're meeting up to have lunch and hug and say, glad to finally meet you face to face, if you're not doing that, you're probably breaking a law. So just keep that in mind. I've reminded a few people that they're breaking laws. Hopefully they've learned a little bit about that. So
Now I
anyhow,
watched
taking it.
real quick. I'll just say this. I watched. There's a streamer. He wasn't. He hadn't been streaming for very long. I think he was out of. Um, I want to say like Baltimore or something like that. And he's a younger guy, maybe in his early 30s, something like that. And he drove a truck. Um, delivering like electrical components to different places in the city. And um, I watched him a little bit and saw the guy was a hard worker, and he did his business, but he was streaming at work, and somebody called in and said that he was smoking weed while driving, and he had a vape, which tobacco vape, and they assumed that it was pot. And um, long story short, the guy ended up today losing his job because some asshole went off YouTube and called into his work and made several complaints, but
Right.
that was one of them. And this guy's got a family, got little kids, and I watched his stream when he was driving home, and um,
Probably heartbreaking.
his yeah, and his the look on his face when he got home and he knew he had to go inside and tell his wife and his kids that he just got canned um, right before the holidays because some asshole decided that they were gonna call his work and make problems for him.
Yeah. And
But
and and, and that ties into exactly what I just talked about. When you step outside of YouTube and do stuff like that with somebody that's vindictive or otherwise, you're probably breaking the law. There's a number of laws that whoever did that broke.
yeah,
You know, and I'm anxious for all the haters to pick that one thing that I just said and say, "How's that breaking the law?" It's not breaking any laws. Well, yeah, it is. In the real world, that's breaking laws. So anyhow, hey Vaughn, I just want to before I say goodnight, I just want to say I'm really kind of upset that you didn't invite Lisa and I over for Thanksgiving dinner. I would have really liked some of your casserole and to meet the dogs and check out the yard and all that, but maybe next year. So good night, y'all. White Snake, appreciate it.
thank you, David.
Yeah. Take care.
All right, guys, thank you. You all have a great Thanksgiving and enjoy it. Enjoy it. Have a good night.